let's focus on some of your clients that are remote. Since we're on Remote First Innovators, right? Um, I I I, I want to give a perspective to the audience of. I feel like last time we talked that there was some companies that maybe weren't intentionally designed for remote work. They were kind of pushed into it, and when the teams first made that shift, what did leaders assume was going to be the hardest thing, and what did actually end up being the hardest thing for them?
Yeah, so I mean, we all talk about the pandemic and how that made a very hard push towards remote. And the team I was with at the time was Unity Web Agency, and we were an in-office team at that point. And so when the pandemic hit and it forced everybody to go remote, we were like, well, I mean, the work we can do is shouldn't be a problem to do remotely. But what they didn't necessarily understand and realize was how that might change how it feels to work together. And I'm very comfortable with working remotely with people and, communicating digitally. I kind of did that a lot growing up, just, online gaming. But my colleagues were not so used to that. And so they were definitely missing the in person component. And I think part of it was just the shared presence of being together in the office together as we were working towards these goals together. But it's also a little bit of, I like to kind of describe it as like the popcorn effect, which is, you know, you and another colleague's having this conversation. This colleague is not necessarily part of it, but they hear and then they chime in and they're able to jump in. And now it's the three of you having this conversation about it, whether it's about something work related or you guys are talking about the cute little puppy from this weekend. Okay. Like it doesn't matter. It's like, but it's there's a social dynamic that happens there that allows people to feel more connected with each other, to feel more engaged with each other, with the people they're working with on their team. And when you go into a remote work environment, right, that is lost because everybody's either you're all in the same chat channel, right, or you're all on the same video call, or you're not, right? And so somebody might be having a fun conversation in this video chat conference, but the other people are not part of that, right? And so you have to become much more intentional in how are you connecting together to help make sure that you're having that opportunity to sort of have fun and chime in into each other these different conversation topics and build those relationships, because ultimately at the end of the day we're human and we feel more engaged when we feel a sense of connection with the people we're working with. And part of what it is about an in-person environment is that opportunity to connect more. And it's not that everybody's wired this way. I have some people who are very like, I don't need that. I'm fine, which is fine. But there's also a lot of people who are not like that and they need that. Right. Or people who are not even conscious of their need of that, that suddenly notice something's off.